How do I find my style? I've asked myself this many, many times over the years of being an artist, which has been 25 years plus now. And it's something that I know lots of other people ask, and I get asked too, is how do I know when I found my style, or how do I find it? Because sometimes we look at other artists and we see people creating and they have a cohesive style. Like, I'm going to use my friend Sharon as a great example of this. Sharon is a figurative sculptor who creates distinctive pieces that when you see a piece, you can tell it's Sharon's. And they are made of clay and very expressive and raw, and they are sometimes mystical, so they can have horns and branches coming out of them. And so I can actually describe to you there what Sharon's work looks like, and you can probably start to paint a picture of it. They are sometimes kind of nearly a meter high nowadays. They're getting bigger, and they can sometimes be the full head, sometimes just the head and the torso. And the mark making and the clay, you can see where Sharon's hand has been, and the clay is really yummy. Anyway, so that there is me describing Sharon's work, and I guess in essence style. I tend to avoid the word style, and I'm not sure why. I think it's probably because over the years using that word has put pressure on me personally to have a distinctive style. And one of the things I wanted to talk about today was that, and how you can find your own voice, which is the term that I tend to use, and it's helped me, and how you can actually define your art if you want to, or how you can work in a more fluid way, which is what I do. And so I'm in a new environment today, by the way. I am sat at my friends in Ireland. I am here visiting friends, and I am also reconnecting with family that I have never met. So yeah, I'm here on this amazing, amazing trip. And talking about finding your voice and finding your style, it's really interesting to me now how all of this kind of stuff fits in. So what happens in my life feeds into my work. And, you know, when we think about style and voice, it really is, for me, it's what you put into your work. It's the part of you that you put into your work that is you, that makes your work unique. And that is you fine-tuning your style, your voice, whatever it is that you want to call it. It's about the part of you in the work that makes it different to everyone else's. And we can describe that through visually looking at the work, like I've just described with Sharon's work. And we can also view it from a feeling, a more subjective point of view, which is maybe the narrative behind the work that maybe isn't visible in what it actually, the outcome, you know, what it became, but there could be something behind it. So let me give you an example. One of my phrases is to become one, and a lot of my work is born from that phrase, but it looks very, very different. So you can have work that looks the same, and you can have work that looks different, but is born from a relationship in terms of what inspired the work or what you saw, felt at the time. And that's what trips people up sometimes, is that they think that having a style, having a voice has to be that the work looks the same. It can be that, but it doesn't have to be that. And going back to me being here in Ireland right now, my granddad was an orphan. My cousins traced his family, and now we've traced family back to Offaly in Ireland. I'm a quarter Irish, and I'm going to be meeting up with family here that I've never met before. And I'm back on the land where my granddad was born. And there's a story there of him being an orphan, and now we're being reunited. We're going out for dinner tonight with a load of family. And part of kind of, finding your voice and your style is very much about you really starting to pay attention or noticing what it is that you're drawn to and the things that stand out for you as a creative, your own experience, and the way you live and your art, it interweaves, and it's magical. So when you start to notice the things, and me being here right now, I know for a fact this will impact my creativity in some way. It will come out in something. It will either come out in a journal entry, it might come out in an artwork at some point. But really sitting with this, knowing that not only am I going through a personal experience right now, and one that I'm sharing with my son while we're here, um, I don't sit here consciously thinking, oh, how is this going to impact my work? It's just an inner knowing that I know that when I start noticing, when I start feeling, it's going to come through some way. And the way that I capture these moments so that they do go into my own art and my own creativity is that I journal, that I keep a sketchbook, and I'm kind of recording these moments, these feelings. Could be sketching on the go. And then what happens then is that all feeds into the work. And that can either be a conscious decision or it will be a subconscious sometimes, that these things I might be here in Ireland right now, and I might hear a tale, which I did yesterday. I went to a leprechaun museum and listened to an hour of storytelling. And it was interesting because I sat there and I'd read a book on the way on the plane, and the book was saying that when we're children, we have very vivid imaginations, and that quite often those imaginations are suppressed over the years of, oh, it's just your imagination, oh, stop daydreaming. And we become very kind of practical in the real world, and we lose that sense of imagination. And actually, imagination is an amazing way to keep connected to creativity, but also to ourselves and to the amazing energy of the universe. And it was talking about this book, and then it was no coincidence that then I ended up in a leprechaun museum hearing all these like fantastic tales and crazy things that just blew me away. So what I'm trying to say here is, when you start to take notice, these occurrences that happen, like you'll be reading a book and then you find yourself in a leprechaun museum. It's like this small signs all the time in our lives that are guiding us towards our own voice, our own intuition, our own creativity, and it's all part of the same thing. And the more we take notice of those things, they will filter into the work. And for me, I can already feel that this storytelling aspect is going to start feeding into my creativity. So at the point of recording this, we are running a Kickstart Your Art event. And this is what we are doing inside our creative living platform, is really helping people fine-tune their voice, find their voice and find their people, take notice, develop creativity, and really infuse your life and your art together. So if you'd like to join us for Kickstart Your Art, where we're talking more about this and we're going to help you really fine-tune your art, the link is below. Okay, take care. Bye-bye.